Welcome back, guys. This is part 4 of the custom He-Man figure. So I was going to do this off camera, but I decided to show it on camera because I'm thinking of a few things that um, I wasn't thinking before. So here's what I plan on doing today. First off, I'm gonna do. Here are the gauntlets. I'm more satisfied with this one than this one. This one seems more bulkier than what I wanted. And it also seems a little bit longer. It should be only up to here. So this one was using a wire mesh. I'm gonna use this one using a different method where I'm not using the wire mesh. This material seems pretty strong because of its malleability once it's baked. Um, so I'm gonna redo this one and see what happens as a test without the wire mesh. Without the wire mesh, that means I'll be able to make it thinner, and if it looks better, then I might redo this one too. Really depends. So for my plan on the harness, I really like this design, how it's really hugging up to here. I really like that instead of bringing it down a little bit more. So I'm gonna use the same method that I used to get the pattern for the boots, meaning I'll tape it up using the plastic wrap uh, from basically the same thing that you use for the food. Okay, and then once I get the pattern down, I'll transfer it into the wire mesh. I will be using a wire mesh in this one. So what I was thinking of doing is I'm gonna create a basic harness like this, and I'm gonna have a template for this one, a very plain template, and then just the basic shape or whatever I want to do this one. This one will be finished the way I want it to, and then I'll put like 2 magnets. I'll be mimicking what Mondo did, but different. On the basic template, I'll have 2 magnets, and then I'll construct the different emblems as I want to, and then I'll magnetize it any way I want to. And then also I started messing around with this one because this one keeps writing, and I think what I'll do is I'll glue it to the fur loincloth because I'm never going to be removing this anyway. And then I started messing around with the movement of this waist, and I really like the fact that it is still hugging it. But obviously as you're moving the waist, because I cut this here, there's enough give in this one so it expands and contracts as needed. See? And it keeps that hold. So once I glue this in, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put magnets here and here, and then I'll put a second piece that basically floats above it. So this is gonna be held by the fur loincloth, and as this is moving and making that twist, this will start to expand and contract. And then the third piece that's going to be on top of this one, which is held by magnets, and this one will basically cover this seam line. And on top of that, of course, is the scabbard that I'm going to have going through here. So the scabbard, I think is going to be magnetized to the harness over here, hiding all of that stuff. So those are my plans for today, or at least for the harness. And then this one, the gluing part, I'm going to hold off onto that one until I'm satisfied, because I think I might add a little bit of Sculpey here to round it off, because I really don't like the flatness of this. It just shows off really badly in my eyes. So that's the plan for this video. I hope you stick around, and let's start. Okay, so I'm trying to transfer the pattern to the wire mesh. I have a choice. Either I'm gonna do this in one piece and cut out the pattern as one piece, which will make it stronger, or I can do it in sections. If I do it in sections, I'm gonna save a lot of wire mesh because that's a lot of area, and all this thing on outside will be wasted. So I'm gonna do it in pieces, and then I'll put it together. It won't be as strong as it would have been in one piece, but I think I can make it work. So after this point, we'll just speed it up. trying to design the crest or the emblem. That's how I want to work the middle part. So I think I'm going to sculpt this whole area over here, and then this is the part that's going to be replaceable either with iron cross or just the H. So just trying to nail down this design is difficult enough. So I'm kind of I'm almost actually stealing from Mondo's design because I'm not really that good with design. Okay, having worked on this for a few hours now, I've come to a nasty suspicion that I just need to learn how to do 3D printing and using a 3D software to do this. I feel like because this is such a simple object, this thing could have been done in like 30 minutes to design. And then obviously the 3D printing would have taken longer. But the only advantage that I can see in doing it this way is the fact that I'm getting an exact measurement that I needed off of that body. But this could have been done so much more quicker, so much more cleaner, crispier, if I knew how to do 3D design. So with that in mind, I'm kind of getting a little bit of disheartened by the fact that it's taking me so long just to get as crisp of an edge as I can, and I can't because it's too organic what I'm doing right now. This definitely should be done using 3D design. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooth things out. I left the design very, very basic. I'll work on it a little bit more, but at the meantime, I just want to get this thing, get some sort of crest on this thing. Well, not crest. This is basically, I'm gonna bake it the way it is now. I'm smoothing things out as much as I can. Again, I feel like this could have been this smoothing out part. This, I would need to do this on a 3D design. In fact, on a 3D design, I'd have to be putting in the texture rather than smoothing things out. But I want to smooth things out first with alcohol, and then I want to put in the kind of square studs on these, and then some circular patterns. See, every time I look at it, it's just so many imperfections and bumps on this one that I just want to make it just like straight, and I can't because the clay is so soft that it's just, I just can't get that crisp detail that I want. Unless I bake it and then I sand it and then I cut it, so that just adds to the time that it's gonna take to further finish this. So this is a more stiffer So I'm gonna work on the feet now, the sole. It's gonna be very, very simple, or at least it should be very, very simple. I'll go ahead and make the pieces and I'll be right back. So I got the pieces for the feet back. Alright, sorry about that. I had to stop and do it off camera. Funny thing is, like I said, this is the first time I've worked with cast clay. Now that it's baked and I'm trying to sand it, it was giving some sort of resistance, like it was basically bouncing off, and I had to go to a higher RPM. So that's basically burning it instead of actually sanding it off, because it does feel almost like a rigid rubber. So I just did a rough here. Like I said, I don't want it like completely clean anyway, because it is supposed to be kind of like of a barbarian age. So what's basically going to happen is I'm going to use some super glue over here, and just like that, see? Since I sanded off that part, it's basically acting as if a real shoe, you know. So let me see, is that good enough? Okay, everything else I'll just like paint it, and I'll mess around a little bit. Huh, that's kind of funny, that didn't. Alright guys, so I'm back. This is the harness. The only thing I like about it is the fact that it fits the way I want it to. I mean, the design. Other than that, I think I'm gonna redo the harness because I'm just not really satisfied with how rough it became. There are certain bubbles that occurred because when I pressed the sculpture together, there's some trapped air, and once it heated up, it started to the air started to expand and try to get out. So it just created bubbles. I could sand it off, I suppose, but I'm already not happy with the way it's looking. So there's another method I'm gonna try to do before I try sanding it and fixing this, that I think might give me the precision that I want, and it's actually going to be a quicker process. I'll cover that on the next part, to show you how that's going to turn out. This is the gauntlet. I don't know how it happened, but it ended up being the same size as the old one that I was trying to replace, that I thought was too bulky. And then of course the feet, I'm just gonna grind this off a little bit to make it get close to the edge a little bit, and then I'll fake this part off with a little bit of strip of leather to round it off. I'm pretty happy with how the sole of the boot came off. I wanted this to be rough anyway because, like I said, it's a barbarian shoe, so it's not supposed to have like threads or anything like that. Then I'll fix this a little bit more. The fact that I kind of like that it's kind of matted and stringy and all that stuff. So here's the back of how I taped it together for now, just so I can see how it rests. So that's kind of how he looks. I mean, it kind of looks good. It's just from afar, everything works well. It's just, you know, when I just don't like the level of quality that is showing. I think I can do better, especially this part, and then this part I've already got a way of, so it's gonna be two different materials, and we'll cover that in the next part. I hope you guys stuck around. Like I said, don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you have to redo it, then you're just redoing it, you know. And then it's a problem that's occurring on how to create the harness properly. And this is just your project. So basically, this is you trying to find a solution what is gonna work for you, right? So next part, we're gonna redo the harness in we're using two different completely materials. That I think is going to give me the kind of precision that I've been looking for, so that I'm not having to worry about clean edges and these bubbles and all that stuff. So far things are going quite well. I'm satisfied with how things are going, how things are playing out. So I hope you guys are still sticking around, and you'll stick on for the next part as we explore a new way of creating a harness. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.